Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I am your host and founder of the Bobby White Foundation. Thanks for joining us tonight. I forgot to pull up some of my information, but that's okay. Um, See, that's why I should have done this. Where are we going to start? So let's just start with our business stuff. Okay, we need to thank, obviously, for sure, Area 52 Media Group for letting us be here. If it wasn't for John Gaston, our producer, and we got Joseph again behind, my tech guy, we wouldn't be able to do this because I don't know how to do all that hard stuff. So we really super appreciate them because, John was willing to take on the hard stuff, the hard topics, and that's what we're doing here. So I want to thank him so much. And if you want to have your own show, please contact John at Area 52 Media Group because you don't have to be in Georgia or wherever he might be at the time um, to have your own show. He's in Georgia. I'm in Florida. Um, we used to do it in the same studio down here in Florida up until about, I don't know, a year and a half ago, maybe. Um, and now we tape from the office of the Bobby White Foundation, and they do all the tech work up in Georgia. So we really appreciate them, and um, pitch any kind of show to him. He's willing to do it. If he's willing to do my show, yeah. So, anyways, also our sponsors, of course, Deland Gaston with the mortgage firm. Anything mortgages, um, you know, it buying a home is one of the top stressors in a person's life. This gal, she can help you get pre-qualified, just walk you through the whole process and be there for you if you haven't done it before. And she's who I trust. I know a lot of people in the real estate market, realtors, title agencies, mortgage people. She's your go-to gal. And then, of course, Tammy White Galleries and Custom Framing. The gallery and, of course, Area 52 Media Group sponsor Art for Hope, which we'll talk about in just a minute because I've got some great news about that. So first, I got things pulled up, so let's see if I can do this right. Okay, first of all, it's still summer. I can't believe it's July. This is actually going to air on the 4th of July, our nation's 250th birthday. If you're watching it on the 4th of July, I am so grateful for you to take the time before the fireworks. But remember, too, with the fireworks, this year and every year, our veterans, be mindful of them and our pets because they don't like it. It's very hard and stressful for them. Pets go missing every year at any time of year that there's fireworks, and our veterans, PTSD. Please just be mindful of them because they served our nation so that we can celebrate our 250th birthday. So, but also, not but, just also, being summertime, we are still facilitating our support groups. So in July, they're still coming up. So the next one here is July 8th. That's our Spring Hill support group. It's at the NAMI Hernando office. I, greatly thank NAMI Hernando for partnering with us to donate the space so that we can hold the support groups. And then the next one will be July 16th. That's the Newport Richie support group. And that's at the Oasis Coffee Spot in their little bookstore. I want to thank Oasis too for donating their space so that we can have our Newport Richie group there. Remember, these groups are peer to peer support groups. Um, the facilitators are also lost survivors. I mainly facilitate the Newport Richie one, and Kathy Goodman facilitates the NAMI Hernando. I'm usually there as a co facilitator. Um, this month, she's on vacation. She's going on, I think she's going to Ireland or someplace. So I'll be facilitating the Newport Richie, or no, both of them, the Spring Hill and Newport Richie support group. They're peer to peer. The people that come are great. You don't have to sign up to come. If you have questions, please reach out to me at the foundation. You can either email me or call me. And I can ease your concerns if you have any. I know that sometimes it's really hard, and you might think, and this happens, quite often, and I totally get it, that the group is coming up, and you think you're ready to go, and then it's time to go, and you just can't do it, and that's okay. You got to do what feels comfortable for you. And even if you come to the group, if you don't feel like talking, you don't have to. You can sit there and listen. These people, our Spring Hill group, we have some people that have been coming since the very beginning, and they are very, very good. Not only with themselves and the growth that I've seen with them, but how they also help their peers in this group. So it's a safe place to go to discuss. They're all on the same journey. We're just maybe on a different part of the journey, a little further ahead than some people, but it's a safe place. And I know support groups aren't for everybody, but for those that are, our groups are good, and they're helpful. So we were gonna go into Art for Hope, and this kind of also ties into what I'm talking about today. So Art for Hope, of course, is September 10th at the Hilton Garden Inn. It's our 9th annual, but this year it falls on International Suicide Prevention Day. And we're so excited about that. I get to announce our keynote speaker this year is going to be, and probably people in our area here will know who he is, Eloy Nunez. He is one of our past district governors for Rotary in my area. He's also a retired police officer. So he and actually his son are going to be our keynote speakers for Art for Hope. His family, his son in particular, has struggled over the years with mental health issues, and they've dealt with it together as a family. His son is doing well now. He's written a book, hopefully by Art for Hope. It'll be in published form, tangible. So they're going to be there. His son's going to be able to, we're going to have his books there, hopefully. Keep my fingers crossed. I talked to Eloy this past weekend, and we're so excited about this. It's a little bit different from our keynote speakers in the past. Having a father-son and, talking about mental health and mental wellness and how it affects the entire family unit. So we're super excited about this. So it's free to attend. We have light hors d'oeuvres. I was going to say cash bar, but they don't take cash anymore. So I guess maybe we should change it to credit card bar. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's a night. It's of it's not sad, it's uplifting, it's education, it's awareness. We have art for sale. Of course, we have, wall art and stuff, but we're adding different kind of mixed media textile this year also, because a lot of people, or not a lot, but I guess several people, I don't really know how to word that. But anyways, it had been mentioned that, a lot of people don't have space on their walls for wall art. Well, I got news for you. All you got to do is rotate your art. I've been trying to let people know that for years. You don't have to have the same piece of art on your wall year round. Come on. People they don't get my enthusiasm for that. So you can rotate your art. You don't have to have the same piece of art. So you can buy more wall art. But anyways, we are going to be facilitating those that don't want to, and have different mixed media um, introduced to this. And this is it was our major fundraiser for all the years up until just recently. But it's a good event. We're excited about it. So, and excited that we have our Eloy as our keynote speaker. So, kind of I can transition from that to last week. I spoke about a book I had pulled out because I was having a hard time, and we were speaking a bit about the Toglum practice, and the book I was going through from Pema Chandran. And we were going to go a little bit deeper into this week, but I wanted to talk about what happened this last weekend because it is so relevant, and we'll get back into this next week. And because and this is why, and I'm going to share with you what happened. So after last week's show, and I knew this was coming up, and sometimes I procrastinate, like a lot of times, and but I was prepared for this. I was going to be speaking at our Rotary District conference. We're in West Central Florida. Our district is 6950, which includes Citrus County, Hernando County. I got to do it this way, otherwise I'll forget. Citrus County, Hernando County, Pasco County, and Pinellas County. And I was asked to speak about our Rotary Action Group for mental health initiatives, which I started last year. And so I had a slide presentation and did the presentation, excuse me. But leading up to this, I was having a really difficult time because I let people get into my head. And I had the presentation, and I've done presentations before, and I knew how I wanted to do the presentation, but I was still letting other people get into my head, and it was messing with me. And was having a really hard time. And that week I was supposed to be doing that Toglum practice, and I didn't, because I was going to really immerse myself into that so that I could bring more information to you guys about it. And I should have done it because of what I went through that week leading up to my presentation. And even the night before, I was really ready. I had it. I knew what I wanted to do, but I still had these people in my head, and I was worried about, and I don't know why, because they weren't even going to be there anyways, that I wasn't doing it the way that they thought I should do it. And I knew the way that I was doing it was right. So, and I was going to do it that way, and I did do it that way. But I still let these people's opinions, I guess, get in my head and mess with me. And like I had a really, really hard time leading up to the presentation. And even the night before, and I had everything all set up. I had everything all ready to pack into the truck. I had my presentation ready. I sent the PowerPoint to our district governor, and just I knew everything was good. And I think I knew sort of deep down that it was going to be okay, but on a more conscious level, I guess. Again, I was letting this other stuff get into my head. I don't think I slept a wink that night. And I had to get up really early because I had to leave the house by, well, it wasn't really so early, but I had to leave the house by 7 because it was down at Tradewinds Resort in St. Pete Beach, which was a little over an hour away. Get set up. And anyways, so I'm going to share a little bit with you about the presentation, because this mental health initiatives action group, and I was asked this at the end of it because I didn't include it in the presentation, but one of our other past district governors, Chris Costello, who was instrumental in helping me start this a little over a year ago. And I've shared this with you guys before, but for those who haven't seen it, it's you don't know. So a little over a year ago, our district conference, we went on a cruise. And unbeknownst to at least me, and I think several people, on our cruise, we had a past Rotary International president. And during one of our meeting things that we had to do, he got up to speak, and his name is Gordon McAnally. He's a retired dentist from Scotland. Super, super nice guy. I didn't know who he was at all. And even though I was in Rotary at the time he was president, but I guess I really wasn't paying attention really at that level, I guess. And anyway, so he got up to speak. And during his tenure as president of Rotary International, one of his big pushes, because Rotary has several causes and several humanitarian things that we give our time and energy and money to, and everything. But during his tenure, was mental wellness. And he was speaking towards that at our district conference. That is a old car that drives by that is super, super noisy. He sits so low to the ground. Oh, okay. Joseph said that it didn't pick it up, but it sounded so loud to me. Uh, anyway, so at the district conference, he was speaking about mental wellness. Well, he shared with us that his reasoning was because he lost his brother to suicide. Well, as soon as he said that, of course, a few people who know me and what I do turned around and looked at me, and I didn't know this. It was the first time I've heard it. It's the first time I even saw him. 'Cause like I said, I unfortunately wasn't paying attention at the international level when he was president. But as soon as he got done and we finished listening to what he had to say, of course, it resonated with me, and so when we got out of that meeting, I immediately went and found Chris Costello, and I'm like, Chris, I said, I need to meet this guy. And I said, I don't, and Chris didn't know all this about me. And I told him, I says, I don't know if you know my history, but I shared with him that I had lost my husband Bobby to suicide, and that I had this foundation. And so he he was like immediately, get with me at dinner, come to my table. He goes, I'm sitting not too far behind you, and I'll introduce you after dessert or in between dessert. I can't remember. But, anyways, so I did, and he did, and I got to meet Gordon, and it was just amazing. And people in Rotary often ask other Rotarians, what was your Rotary moment? When it kind of solidified that, yeah, I'm a Rotarian. And I never had that. And I've been a Rotarian off and on since the mid 90s. And I've never really had that until that night. And I knew that Rotary had these action groups. And now these action groups are for both Rotarians and non-Rotarians. You can be a member of the action group and you can participate in it, and you don't have to be a member of Rotary. So anyway, I knew this, and I had kind of signed up at the international level like a few years prior to, and then never, followed through or anything. But after that night, I was hell-bent on we were going to start an action group for our district. And as soon as I got off that ship, I went into full gear. And so within just a few months after that was the international conference. And at the international conference last year, they announced that we were granted a Rotary Action Group for mental health initiatives for District 6950. It's been a long year, but we're getting momentum now. We worked with international and got a program going where we can help pediatricians get mental health help to our children much faster in our area than normal. And one of the big things was we had a matching grant from our district and international. So we have $22,000 for our district. That's all 4 counties for pediatricians, and even pediatric dentists have gone through this training. The training is free. The resources are free. We have a few in Pinellas who have signed up and gone through the training. So we're still, it's amazing how slow some things work, but it's a slow process. But I can finally see that we're finally starting to get some more momentum. So anyways, I was asked to speak at the district conference, and I did. Everything worked out great. It was fine, even though I had no sleep the night before. And one of the things that I shared with them for the action group, and I'm going to share with you because, like I said, wherever you are actually in the world, because Rotary is international, and the Mental Health Initiatives Action Group is also international. So in your area, Google Rotary, Google the International Association. This is one of our campaigns that I introduced because we want to introduce ways for people in Rotary and not in Rotary to be able to participate in an easy way. So this was our first campaign also last year, Don't Bottle It Up. And at the conference, we had a table set up, and my beautiful friend Denise Allen from Newport Richie Headshots came down, and we offered for any Rotarian that wanted to have their picture taken, and it's taken on a black background. And then we send this to Rotary International, and they do a mock-up of this like page, like could look like a magazine cover, or you can make it into a poster to share on social media. We had over 45 people um, have their pictures taken, and actually there's two. There's the "Don't Bottle It Up," and the other one is "How Are You Really?" And those are going to be coming out here shortly. But there's our setup, and there's even that's in the background Denise's little photo booth setup, and I was so pleased. I mean, I was so nervous giving the presentation. And like I said, Chris asked me to explain to everybody how, this came about. And so I did. And then somebody asked about help for lost survivors. So that's when I brought in the foundation. But I wanted to share the mission of the action group. There's 4 key goals. 1, to break the stigma associated with mental health challenges so people feel safe talking about them. To raise awareness about mental health and increase understanding of prevention and early treatment options. Build capacity and competencies among stakeholders, including Rotary clubs, health professionals, educators, and community partners. And empower individuals with tools and knowledge to support their own mental health and that of others. And this is part of Rotary. Rotary exists to meet unmet needs, and mental health is one of the most greatest unmet needs of our time. Together, I got to get through this. Together, we can explore how to open conversations, help save lives, because that's what hope in action looks like. Connection over isolation, conversation over silence, hope over despair. Together, we can make a difference. When we open conversations, that's when we save lives. And I've reiterated this ever since John talked me into starting this show, because it was so important in our journey, in my family's journey. So, as I said, please check out your local Rotaries. Go online. You can there's Rotary clubs everywhere. I get to be the president of mine next year. But remember, keep these phone numbers in your phone, memorize them, because you might be the one just to help that one person. Because, like I always say and totally believe, there is always hope. Thank you for joining us tonight. Be safe.